This is the Nighthawk Sandhawk. Nighthawk's slogan is one gun, one gunsmith, but what happens when your gunsmith is on crack? That and more after this hypebeast intro. I can't. Right. Anyway, so it feels weird to do a review on a Nighthawk because I feel like nobody who would buy a gun like this would be influenced by a video like this. But if you're anything like me, you enjoy watching content on guns, whether or not you plan on ever buying them. It seems like most of the reviews, or many of the reviews, are by people who don't actually own the gun. They just got it in for testing. There's difficulty with YouTubers and reviews like that because they have to maintain a relationship with the company if they ever want to get any future product, right? And because that's what they do, you can't trust them to be objective because that's their income stream, right? I bought this with cash, and it's just my personal gun now. So I've got no skin in the game. I can be completely honest. And one of the reasons I wanted to make this video is just because I don't like the way people it seems like there's not many objective reviews of this gun in particular. It's got like an aura about it that every single YouTuber I've seen seems to attribute to it, and they don't really cover the negatives, which is kind of the theme of my channel. And I know this is out of my niche, right? I typically do long range, but I guess in a more practical sense, I'm like, if you wanted to consider me an expert in anything, it would actually probably be pistol shooting. So this might be a one-off. I'm probably going to go back to long range stuff just because that's more interesting to me. But since I have this, I figured I'd talk about it. And I've got two other 1911s here, or 2011s to talk about in comparison, just to give you a point of reference. So I wanted this because it's Gucci, and that's kind of the thesis of this. Okay, this is a great pistol to buy if you like Gucci shit, which is my whole shtick. I just like nice, and not even nice. I just like things that seem cool, right? And performance is kind of secondary in a lot of cases, and a lot of people aren't willing to admit that. But I just like Gucci shit, right? So you buy like, your wife buys a $10,000 purse. It carries the same things as a free shopping bag from Shaw's, but that's not the point, right? It's because it's cool and it's got like an aura. I think when I first got it, I was talking about like, oh, how much you ever paid for a logo. I'm pretty sure I paid like $4,000 for a logo with this, and the rest of the money went to the actual craftsmanship. But in any case, I've enjoyed owning it tremendously. It's been a lot of fun. It shoots exactly the way I want it to, and it's great. It's a great pistol, but there's some things about it that the rest of YouTube won't tell you, and so that's why I wanted to make this video. I make a joke about the gunsmith being drunk or whatever when he QC'd this. It's only kind of true. Obviously, I can see, I have the name of the person who put the gun together, and I don't want to disparage them because I expect he's probably working within the constraints of what the company gives him. And so I don't blame the guy personally for my complaints. I think that's just what he's working with. My first major complaint is the grip, and I've got it covered with tape here, so I'm going to put some B-roll in here for you. But these grips were completely, I don't understand what they were thinking. When you think about the way these grips are put together, it's like they're drilling into it a whole bunch of times, or they're milling, but they're basically drilling into a bunch of times with circles and leaving these gaps. And I'll try and, I don't know, make a diagram or something, or show you. And they're leaving these gaps where the material is retained, and it creates this checkered kind of pattern that, is very grippy. But the way Nighthawk does it is terrible and just incredibly poorly thought out, because it leaves these bridges of material. And I'm going to try and show you this. When I started shooting this gun, right off the bat, initially, I noticed it was very grippy. I didn't love it, but I was running it. Then later on, I was noticing that I felt like I had splinters in my hands. Like if you ever grab something like split carbon fiber or fiberglass, split fiberglass, and you feel like you've got these little invisible splinters in your hands. That's what I was feeling after shooting this. And it turns out that it was these little bridges of aluminum were breaking under recoil off into my hand, into my skin, and I was extracting them with tweezers. And so what happened was the angle of the cutter, whatever they were using to cut this, the angle or the width is not sufficient to completely remove the material between these, the remaining bits of grippy texture aluminum there. And so you have these like ultra thin aluminum bridges that then break off into your skin. And so any other gun, you'd think, oh, okay, no problem. Like that's just a part of the manufacturing process. But with this being so poor and so poorly thought out, and for that to pass through QC when they're all about, oh, quality, 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 what else are they missing that they would miss something so egregious in a gun that costs this much, right? And it was like, it was the very first thing I noticed about the gun was how bad this was. And it was to the point where like I wrapped it up in tape and I ran it like that, but it's useless. It's not a usable gun in this configuration. So what I did was I took this this dental pick that you probably saw in the footage back there, and I just started peeling up the bridges, and now I run a piece of tape because I like disabling the safety, but also it softens it up a little bit, and it's perfect now, and it's just what I want. But you know, Nighthawk has this reputation of like ultimate care and attention to detail, but they let something this fucking terrible, to be honest, pass through their QC. And it calls into question everything that they do, right? Because they let this run out the door, and you got to wonder what else is in this pistol that's just totally fucked up. Because who would look at that and think, oh yeah, that's a great idea? I feel like it could be resolved really simply with just fixing the way their cutter goes into the grip, or even like a really aggressive sandblast before anodizing might resolve it. And you might wonder why I didn't send the gun back to be fixed. Well, I waited 18 months for the pistol. Why send it back when I could just do it in an hour, you know, sitting down here, and now I'm happy, right? And I know there's going to be so many comments about, oh, you spend so much money, it should be perfect. Yeah, but what I have here, I'm happy with. This shoots just like the pistol I compare this most closely to is my Black Dog Gunworks STI open class gun for USPSA. This shoots just like that, but in a normal form factor. So I can fit this pistol in your standard Safariland holster, right? And where I don't shoot USPSA anymore or IDPA or anything, I just shoot like 2-gun tactical style matches. It's nice to be able to run your standard kit with a gun that shoots like a USPSA open gun. I have absolutely zero complaints about the way it shoots. It's just like little QC things that you think, okay, come on, like Nighthawk, you're supposed to be like top of the line, like get your shit together, right? Which is, it seems like I'm on repeat with all my videos, but my other complaint, and I don't even know if this is a complaint, but when you engage the safety, which feels amazing, when you engage the safety, it's moving the slide back and forth. It's the weirdest phenomena. Like engaging the safety pushes the slide backwards and forwards. And I don't know, I don't know why that bothers me so much. I don't know if that's a fitment issue or what the deal is. If you just ducked, I feel you. I don't understand why hand fitting is supposedly better, because you wind up with situations like that. You wind up with this like weird geometry here. What I think I truly want in my mind is machining this done so perfectly that no hand fitting is required. But it's obvious that somebody definitely put a lot of time into getting this thing fitted properly. It feels great. It shoots amazing. It's incredibly soft. It weighs a ton, and then they put a port on the end of it, so of course it's going to shoot soft. But just in terms of 2011s in general, it's my favorite shooting 2011 in this format. I really like my P. This is Staccato P. I ran this a ton. It's great, but it shoots like a normal pistol, right? It doesn't have that that extra weight. It doesn't have the port, so it recoils and tracks like a normal handgun. I brought this into the mix because this is a friend's. This is a Stealth Arms Platypus. This is the most ergonomic 2011 you can buy, in my opinion, at least within what I've experienced. The way this feels in your hand is unparalleled in terms of 2011s. I don't know if that has to do with the Glock mags or what, but check out this grip. This is how to do it, okay? And this is at the time, I don't know, $1,400 pistol. This texture is flawless. And so why, for like 4 times the price, and, ooh, Nighthawk, we're the best, why can't you do this? Why can't you get this right, okay? This should be really simple. Look how well this is laid out. There's no weird edges. There's no weird hooks. This is perfect. So what is Stealth Arms doing with such a cheap, relatively cheap pistol that Nighthawk can't figure out with something like this? The quality isn't the same. Certainly, you can tell, but I think in the hands of a skilled shooter, this does everything that the Nighthawk does. And if you put a comp on this, forget about it, right? Plus they talk about fitment and fit. The finish on this isn't amazing, but let's have a comparison here. Ready? What do you hear versus this? Which of these is fitted better? Right? Like the fitment is fine, but I don't think it's exceptional. And then I don't know, for the first 1,000 rounds or so, I was getting failures to extract. I have never had a failure to extract with this gun. Here's a gun that I've owned for a decade, and it's never had a failure to extract. Now, I get that hand-fitted guns have a break-in period, but the break-in period should not be 1,000 rounds. Right at 1,000 rounds, I took it apart and cleaned it, like all the way down. So I've got some footage of the inside. It's clear, it's hand-fitted, you can tell, but I was a little disappointed that it's having failure to extract for so long. I didn't find any issues, but they cleared up eventually. The trigger is good, but I don't know that it's like amazing. My Black Dog Gunworks trigger was better. But then again, that was an open class gun. I do like that this is a little heavier. I don't mind a little bit of a heavier trigger, but in terms of the way it breaks, this is an Atlas in the staccato. They're nearly indistinguishable. And then this is quite a bit lighter. Quite a bit lighter. This is a better competition trigger in the $1,400 Platypus. Also, just as an aside, before you blow me up, it's not an endorsement of these two things that I have the dot and the light on here. I'm testing them, okay? Still working on it. I'm trying to move away from open emitter, and this light makes the fitment tighter in my Safari Land. That's why I'm using them, okay? So don't freak out at me. Look through the dot. It's completely fogged over, but I can still use it.
I can't even see shit. Hold on.
Closed emitter. Jesus. What are you gonna do?
I guess fucking shoot anyways.
I can still see it. I don't know why the camera's not picking it up. So to sum up, I think this is a great gun. I'm really happy that I bought it. When I bought it, I thought it was an investment, right? Because I saw one sell on Gunbroker for right about $10,000, or right as I ordered mine. And so my thought was, well, if I don't love it, I can sell it and make a ton of money. I don't expect to sell it, even though they are. I could probably, even with all the damage I've put on this gun now, I could probably get between 6 and 7. I don't expect I'll sell it because I'm just very happy with it. I love the vibe. I love the way it looks. It's just got like a good energy to it, But I think I think the people who buy guns like these are. I think that people who buy guns like these are rich people who are casual shooters. I think serious shooters buy Atlases, staccatos, bull, like MPA, right? I think this is for rich people who like status symbols and are also casual shooters. I think most people who buy these are not serious shooters, and that's fine. I mean, I'm a serious shooter, but I got this because it's sick, right? And I don't really care too much. I think if I were to recommend, and I only have a little bit of experience with the Atlases, but I think if I were to recommend like what's the best 2011 for a serious shooter, probably be an Atlas. There's some other ones that I'm interested in trying. Should you buy this? No. But if you got the money, yeah, fuck it, right? It doesn't matter. 24 karat gold front sight, that's sick, right? I like I like owning it. It's awesome. But I think this shoots almost identical to a Staccato XC in the way it feels. And in terms of ergonomics, I think the Staccato XC has better ergonomics. So if you're looking for the best bang for your buck, comped 2011, easy peasy, get the XC, especially used. I think in the way they feel, the difference is negligible. If I have some extra shooting footage, I'll put it up. But, I wanted to do a review because most people who do reviews don't own the gun, and they can't be totally objective, right? Because they don't want to piss off Nighthawk. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, I gave them my money. I can say what I want. It's solid. Some questionable shit going on, but I fucking love the gun. So I'm extremely pleased. I'm super happy that I have it. But yeah, put your questions in the comments. In any case, yeah, that's the Nighthawk Sandhawk. Oh, I want to shoot right by you.
Ah. Want me to try some of your blazers? See if it's ammo?
It's not. I've shot probably fucking 5,000 of that through P320s and never had a single failure. It's purely Sandhawk. Failure to extract.
Staccato and fucking jam.
Failure to extract.
Oh, a good one.
It's the most consistent issue I've had with this gun.
Really?
Yep.
Damn fit.
Hand fit. And peak hand fit energy.